2 silent questions decide if your classroom feels safe. Picture a 5 or 6-year-old walking in for the very first time. Somewhere under the surface, their nervous system is running 2 questions on a loop. When do I eat? When does my parent come back? Until those 2 questions get answered, almost nothing else gets through. Not your welcome speech, not your rules poster on the wall. Their brain is too busy scanning the room for exits to store a single word you say. You think that first hour exists to teach rules. It doesn't. It exists for survival. A child's brain that doesn't know what happens next treats that uncertainty like a threat, even in a room full of toys and smiling adults. It's not the classroom that scares them. It's not you. It's the not knowing. This is why the first hour of a school year decides more than any lesson plan you'll write all year. And most classrooms get it backwards without anyone noticing. Here's the part that should change how you plan tomorrow morning. The fix for that anxious brain isn't a longer, kinder speech. It's something you can put on a wall in under 2 minutes, and it works because of one very simple principle about how stress actually operates. Predictability calms a nervous system even when nothing about the actual event changes. A child who knows exactly when recess happens feels calmer walking toward recess than a child who's just told later. The brain doesn't need good news, it needs expected news. Uncertainty itself is the stressor, completely separate from whatever is actually coming next. So here's the first move, before a single classroom rule gets mentioned. You show the day. Not with words, with pictures, a simple row of pictograms across the board, a plate for lunchtime, a book for reading, a swing for recess, a small figure walking out the door for pickup. The moment every child is seated, you walk through that row, left to right, out loud. This happens, then this, then this, then you go home. You're not teaching a timetable. You're answering the 2 questions their brain has been asking since they walked through the door, out loud, before they even have to ask. And you don't do this once and move on. You do it again after recess, again before lunch, again before the last activity of the day. Every time a child glances at that board and finds their next step already answered, their stress response has one less job to do that minute. But a perfectly predictable day still won't settle every single child in the room. Because timing was never their only fear. Some children walk in ready to run the room. Others walk in still grieving the parent who just left them at the door 30 seconds ago. Most classrooms, without meaning to, only make space for the first kind of child. So here's the second move, and it takes about 15 seconds. Before anything else that morning, you say something close to this, out loud, to the whole room. It's normal if today you feel a little shy, or really excited, or even a little sad to leave your parents. All of these feelings have the right to be here. Notice exactly what that sentence does and doesn't do. It doesn't try to fix the sadness. It doesn't rush anyone toward excitement. It just tells every nervous system in the room that whatever you're feeling right now is not a malfunction. You don't have to hide it, and you don't have to fight it to belong in this classroom. And here's the part teachers are often surprised by. Naming a feeling out loud tends to calm a child faster than telling them to calm down does. When an adult puts a word on what a child is already feeling, the feeling itself gets smaller and more manageable almost immediately. Consider a real scenario. A 6-year-old has just watched his mother disappear around the corner. His chest is tight. His face is hot. He doesn't have words for what's happening inside him yet. But then you look at him and say, sometimes when our parents leave, we feel sad or scared, and that's okay. Watch what happens. That knot in his chest loosens slightly. He nods. He's not alone in this feeling anymore. It has a name. It's been seen. When a child is told to stop feeling it instead, the feeling doesn't disappear. It goes underground, and it tends to resurface later in the day as a meltdown that seems to come out of nowhere over something that looks completely unrelated to the morning goodbye. So that one sentence in the first minute isn't just kindness, it's prevention. You're spending 15 seconds now to avoid the meltdown at 11 a.m. that would have cost you 20 minutes and half the class's attention with it. So now the room is predictable, and the feelings inside it have been named out loud. There's still one thing missing, and it's the thing most classrooms skip completely. A calm brain and a safe brain aren't quite the same thing as a brain that feels like it already belongs in this room. Belonging isn't something you can announce with a speech. It needs proof, and proof needs a shared task the whole group did together. So here's the third move. In the first 10 minutes, give the group something physical to build together. Not a worksheet, an object. One simple version. Hand each child a single piece of an oversized puzzle that, once assembled, spells out the class name or forms a simple class symbol. Each child decorates their own piece at their own table, colors it, adds their initials if they want to. Then, together, as a full group, you assemble the whole thing on the wall in front of everyone. By the end of that activity, there's a physical object hanging in that classroom that did not exist an hour earlier, and every single child in the room contributed a piece of it. That's not a craft project to fill time. That's evidence. Proof, sitting right there on the wall for the rest of the year, that they already changed this room just by showing up to it on day 1. 3 moves. None of them take more than a few minutes each. And the order isn't random. It follows exactly how a child's brain processes a brand new environment, from the outside in. First, the eyes. Show the whole day in pictures before a single rule gets mentioned, so the brain can stop scanning for what's coming next and start actually listening. Second, the heart. Name every emotion in the room as normal in the first minute before anyone has to work up the courage to ask permission to feel it. Third, the hands. Give the group something to build together so belonging becomes a thing they can literally point at on a wall. Rules can wait. They can wait an hour. They can wait until after lunch. They can even wait until tomorrow morning. A brain that doesn't feel safe yet cannot properly store a single rule you hand it anyway, so nothing gets lost by waiting. What you'd actually be wasting is your best material on a room that isn't ready yet to receive it. Send this to a teacher before the first day of school, because rules were never the problem here. 2 silent questions were always deciding whether this room felt safe, long before a single rule ever could.